Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Aries February 2018 horoscope forecast. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Anyway, people, first thing off is, well, as far as February goes, the Sun will be in Aquarius from the 1st until the 18th. So the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Aries. So anyway, there could be a strong concentration of energy, focus, and attention put into freedom, independence in matters connected with friends, aspirations and goals. You might be basically saying, well, I'm gonna pursue this aspiration when at the rate I want to, and it's really not being wanting to be tied down to anything regimented with friends and acquaintances or anything group related. You may be like, well, I'm going to do this when I basically feel like doing it. I don't want anybody dictating to me the course of action. It could also be about a strong concentration of energy and attention and focus put into originality and an ingenuity. Perhaps as far as perhaps maybe ideas with friends go, or maybe your goals and your aspirations may go, the expression of things that are original with friends. And anyway, well, the next thing off is the Sun will be in Pisces as far as February goes from the 18th until the 28th. So the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Aries. At this time for Aries, well, this could be a time where there could be a lot of attention, focus, concentration of energy put into self-sacrifice and perhaps idealism and matters connected with those that are less fortunate than ourselves, such as the impoverished, the oppressed, the homeless. About really a lot of concentration of energy put into perhaps compassion to those that are less fortunate, and really about maybe drifting into your own kind of fantasy world in solitude and seclusion and doing things that are associated with fantasy there. You know, it could be like playing some role-playing game like Dungeons and Dragons or video games, and just going into your own world, and about really more about focusing on maybe just being a little bit more relaxed, being more somewhat lethargic in private. And remember that keep in mind that you're talking about the Sun in the 12th house, so energy and vitality could very well be dissipated and depleted at this time. And Aries is used to really having that strong abundance of energy, so this could be a little bit different at this time. And it could also, I mean, in terms of the energy levels. So anyway, and also keep in mind the 12th house is that of hidden adversaries. So there can be where the light might maybe shine on them, so to speak. They could be ones that can be maybe Pisces like, that can be somewhat, you know, deceptive, or people that are very duplicitous. And those are some things what this could be about when you're talking about Sun and Pisces in 12th house energy. Anyway, next thing off is, well, the new moon will be in Aquarius on, as far as February goes, could be on new moon in Aquarius on February 15th. So at this time, the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Aries. So this could be about perhaps something new that's unorthodox, unusual. That might be a friendship. It might be somebody that might be an acquaintance. It could be somebody, maybe a friendship with somebody that might be in an Aquarius-like field, or such as astrology, esoteric subjects in general, aerospace, astronomy, innovation. It could also be about maybe a new concept, an idea you have that could be very innovative, and it may be an aspiration or a goal that may be started at this time. And keep in mind, this is a partial solar eclipse at this time, so this could be something that could be new, that could also be, I mean, it's like a regular new moon, except it's going to be more amplified, a little bit more powerful and intense, and might be a little bit more sustained as far as this goes. So whatever you might embark on, might be, Aquarius-like at this time, that might be tied into, say, a goal or an aspiration. This could last a little bit longer than usual. So next thing up is, well, Mercury will be in Aquarius as far as February goes, from the 1st until the 18th. So the 11th house again is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Aries. So at this time for Aries, this could be about really maybe a lot of more original, ingenious, innovative thinking, perhaps with friends. Maybe you collaborate with friends on a new idea, or this could be about going outside the box, so to speak, in matters connected with maybe broadening your horizons, as far as your aspirations go, and really in maybe even your goals as well. This could be about thinking about really futuristic ideas, perhaps with your friends, and really, and these could be really futuristic, very strong futuristic like aspirations, where you could be looking really far ahead into the future as far as this goes. And it could also be about the expression of really original thinking, perhaps in clubs and in organizations as well. And really, it could be as well, I mean, when Mercury is in Aquarius, this could be about a lot of extemporaneous and spontaneous like thinking, and that really just comes off in real unpredictable type communications. And you might see that friends at this time might be a little bit, when they speak, it could be, the speaking might be somewhat unpredictable, more so than usual to you. So anyway, well, the next thing up is, well, Mercury will be in Pisces as far as February goes, from the 18th until the 28th. So the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Aries. So at this time for Aries, well, this could be about a lot of more sometimes compassionate thinking, perhaps, maybe in matters, maybe with people that are less fortunate than yourself, such as the oppressed, the homeless, the impoverished. This could also be a little bit where your thinking might be a little bit more ambivalent and confused regarding, people that might be, in deciding who may be your friend, and as opposed to maybe somebody that's actually operating as a hidden adversary or enemy. But it could also be about conversations connected with Pisces, like things in solitude and seclusion, such as photography, videography. Could be just talking about YouTube videos, for example. Maybe the metaphysical, which can include astrology, oceanography, things connected with water, and even the feet as well could be another thing in some isolated cases. So anyway, another thing, too, is what I want to get at. The next thing I want to talk about is Venus will be in Aquarius as far as February goes, from the 1st until the 10th. So the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Aries at this time. So at this time for Aries, this could be about, in some cases, I mean, Venus is about love and romance. And if Aries is unattached, maybe Aries finds maybe somebody that might be a friend that turns out maybe to be somebody that could be a prospective love or romantic partner, and might be in Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant in some cases, or simply somebody that embodies Aquarius-like characteristics. This could also be about maybe spending, maybe erratic spending on matters connected with clubs, with groups, organizations, maybe even on friends, and spending money maybe in a selfless manner as well. It could also be the enjoyment of things that are new, items that are very innovative, computer, electronic like items and gadgets, and enjoying them perhaps with friends and with groups of people. So anyway, the next thing up is, this is interesting. Okay, Venus will be in Pisces as far as February goes, from the 10th until the 28th. So the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Aries at this time. Well, for Aries at this time, well, I find this to be really interesting. This could be in some cases a little bit, behind kind of the scenes, maybe anonymous, I should say, maybe anonymous donations maybe you're giving to those less fortunate than yourself, again, such as the impoverished, the oppressed, the homeless, the hungry. It could be that maybe you're using more intuitive faculties at this time, maybe to weed out people that might not really be on your side, that are hidden enemies or hidden adversaries at this time. It could be a lot of communication going on more behind the scenes, and talking about things connected, like with the Pisces, like things such as the metaphysical, spiritual things, in solitude, in seclusion as well. But keep in mind at this time that maybe, keep in mind where you're talking about Venus and Pisces, and you have this deceptive energy perhaps connected with things of a monetary nature, and being in the 12th house of hidden adversaries. Make sure, Aries, that you're not inadvertently or unwittingly actually giving money maybe to people that really aren't your friends, and they're just beguiling you and deceiving you, and they really are people that actually are truly your hidden enemies or hidden adversaries, and they're just using you for money. So those are some things to look at as far as this goes. And also keep in mind, you're talking about the 12th house energy in Venus here, so it could be possible in some cases. And sometimes it could be somebody that might be a Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply somebody that embodies those characteristics that might be hidden at this time. It could be someone you're in a relationship with, or it could be somebody romantically involved in that maybe goes out of the scene, so to speak, for a little bit and then emerges. Especially, if you're talking about your literal first house, and it's actually when it actually met person might reappear, so to speak, and be more visible when the Venus is out of the 12th and going into the first house, if that is the case in an actual chart. But what I'm saying is, when you're talking about Venus and 12th house energy, another thing I want to get at is it could also be about clandestine affairs, and one's being, we're talking about Pisces, could be one's a little bit deceptive, so be careful at this time, Aries. So anyway, next thing off is, well, Mars will still be in Sagittarius, so the 9th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time for Aries. So at this time for Aries, this could be about, in some cases, the situations with in-laws and grandchildren, if applicable, might be more contentious and acrimonious than usual, and arguments, maybe philosophical differences, maybe differences connected with religion and philosophy. And perhaps where you have these arguments with the Sagittarius, like veritable truths, so to speak. And also, this could be a time where perhaps Aries feels comfortable, as far as unleashing anger out, perhaps in something sports like, or some kind of vigorous exercise. And it can be perhaps with foreigners. It can be maybe with in-laws and or grandchildren, if applicable. This could also be about a lot of energy, exuberant, enthusiastic energy put into 9th house matters such as religion, philosophy, higher education, and expressing a lot of that energy and vitality in things of that nature. So anyway, next thing up is Jupiter will still be in Scorpio. So the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Aries at this time. So keep in mind, people, that Jupiter can be paradoxical. It is benign and benevolent, but it could also have the tendency to enlarge and expand issues. And this could expand and enlarge surreptitious activity at times, perhaps maybe with a sexual partner or somebody you may be in an intimate relationship with. This could also be about perhaps some luck and fortune in going beyond the superficial and seeing subterfuge, perhaps in matters with insurance. It could be with matters somebody that you're involved in an intimate relationship or sexual relationship with. This could be also about perhaps making a major change or transformation, perhaps in some luck and fortune associated with it. Doing so maybe in something Scorpio-like, such as something occult-like, such as could be astrology, supernatural, tarot. Could even be something like alchemy, magic, anything that could be Scorpio-related, investigation, deep research, so even locksmithing. So anyway, Next thing up is Saturn, of course, will still be in Capricorn, so the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Aries at this time. So for Aries at this time, this could be about perhaps experiencing some limitations and restrictions in career-related matters, which could cause some Capricorn-like despondency and making Aries feel somewhat melancholy. Could also be a time where in some cases that Aries may be taking care of perhaps a debilitated parent. I mean, the 10th house is generally, it's the dominant parent, which is often the father, so it could be very well Aries taking care of a debilitated father at this time, which could be causing, again, maybe perhaps some of that Capricorn-like feeling of melancholy and feeling somewhat despondent and depressed at this time. And this could also, another thing this could be about is where you look at the 10th house as well. And I mean, in the 10th house is also about one's public image and one's reputation. So there can be some serious responsibility at this time where Aries has to really take as far as that goes. So anyway. Well, the next thing up is Uranus will still be in Aries, so the first houses will be emphasized and highlighted for Aries at this time. So this could be a time, I mean, keep in mind, Aries, especially if you're actually experiencing the transit where it's making actual conjunction to your actual first house in your chart, or if it's or even literally in your first house in your natal chart, but especially if it's making the conjunction to it, I mean, you got to be a little bit more careful about as far as things of an electrical nature, because Uranus does rule electricity. First house is the physical body, so I mean, it could be where you might be a little bit more susceptible to shocks, and even if it's just static electricity at this time. At the same time, you may be expressing more ingenuity, innovativeness. I mean, just being more original and doing so perhaps in that pioneering Aries-like spirit. And also at this time, this could be about unusual new beginnings for Aries, and maybe ones that were not really planned, that they were very spontaneous and extemporaneous. And also, this is where you might be coming across a little bit more as a little bit more unpredictable at this time, and you may make a change in your appearance at this time. It might be something very unexpected to others and something that might be seen as very unusual at this time. So anyway, next thing up is Neptune will still be in Pisces, so the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Aries at this time. So at this time for Aries, well, in some isolated cases, I mean, Neptune, you're talking about the Neptune and then the 12th house. 12th house is connected with mental illness. So in some cases, it could be, in isolated case, it could be where Aries is dealing with some kind of confounding or confusing mental illness. In many cases, though, this could be about dealing with madness and mayhem and chaos in one's private life, and maybe dealing with secret sorrows connected with maybe false prophets or maybe false psychics or what have you at this time. It's very important that Aries is not, duped at this time, because it could lead to very strong secret sorrows. Deception could very well lead to that at this time for Aries. So anyway, and another thing too, on a positive end though, that this could also be about the expression of spirituality or something else Neptune-like, such as photography, the metaphysical, which can include astrology, and done in solitude and seclusion. So anyway, well, and also too, it might be dealing with very deceptive hidden adversaries or hidden enemies at this time for Aries, and they might be doing things that are causing some kind of chaos and confusion for you at this time. So anyway, next thing up is Pluto will still be in Capricorn, so the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Aries at this time. So this is this could be about, I know a lot of you don't want me to say this, but of course I always say the dreaded D word when I'm talking about Pluto, because I feel I have to. I mean, in some cases, this could be the death of an authority figure. It could be the dominant parent, which is generally the father, or some kind of superior or supervisor at this time. This could also be, in some cases, that actual figurative death of one's reputation and public image. But keep in mind that Pluto is about regeneration and rebirth. So if something comes down at this time as far as one's reputation, public image, it can resurrect and come back up, so to speak. And even if a career is obliterated at this time, another one could be around the corner. So anyway, and this could also be about having some power struggles and issues with people in authority. It could be with the dominant parent. It could be people that are maybe in really just people that are somehow over you. Those people that are, it could be a supervisor or a manager somewhere where you're at. And really, this could also, I mean, you look at this too. I mean, Capricorn energy is a government. We're talking about the 10th house. So in some cases, it could be some power issues. Maybe something with the, could be with somebody connected with the government in some cases. Too, you look at this as well. Pluto and the 10th house energy. This is too, I mean, this is about one's career, and really, and it could be, I mean, you're talking about the stature in life too. This could be something about where maybe that could come to an end or obliterated, but it doesn't mean it couldn't come back and be revived, so to speak, again. So anyway, the next thing up is, well, the North Node will still be in Leo, of course. So the 5th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Aries at this time. So for Aries at this time, I mean, keep in mind when the North Node is in transit, it could be about things that we need to confront. And it could be about dealing with perhaps a domineering child, or maybe somebody you're in a romantic relationship with. It could also be about having to be a little bit more extravagant, maybe in things of a creative nature, or extravagant with children and or a romantic partner at this time, and maybe dealing with some kind of issue where you're spending an exorbitant amount of money on gambling. I mean, this is especially true if Aries is having some kind of compulsive gambling issue at this time, and it might be a time where Aries has to kind of deal with it and confront this issue. And also about maybe being more extroverted and gregarious in terms of matters with children, with romantic partners, people that you're involved maybe with a shared hobby or creative endeavor with, and also maybe getting that attention, those accolades and recognition for things that you're doing with children, and with your maybe that recognition, even if it's private, perhaps from somebody you're in a love/romantic relationship with, and maybe even for creative endeavors as well at this time. So anyway, next thing up is, well, the Black Moon Lilith will still be in Capricorn. So the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Aries at this time. So at this time for Aries, I mean, keep in mind the Black Moon Lilith could be about an unveiling and revelation. So for Aries, this could be about some unveiling, perhaps of maybe a dominant parent or an authority figure that might be demonstrating some kind of ruthless and even tyrannical qualities, overambitious qualities at this time. Maybe somebody that could be an authority figure, that it could be dominant parent, somebody that might figure prominently in your career, maybe coming out and expressing very cold and very undemonstrative-like qualities at this time. Keep in mind, too, the Black Moon Lilith could also be about the revelation of some kind of very formidable adversary. Some cases could actually be a Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply be somebody that embodies those Capricorn-like characteristics. And it could be somebody that might be tied in to one's career at this time, and it might be somebody that might be maybe negatively impacting one's reputation and public image as well, and trying to maybe do something to maybe diminish that as far to Aries. So anyway, Well, the next thing up is Chiron will, last but not least, Chiron will still be in Pisces, so the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Aries at this time. So, for Aries at this time, well, this could be about maybe some emotional wounds and suffering connected with chaos and confusion in one's private life. It could be where maybe gullibility is tied into one's self-undoing at this time and leading to secret sorrows and causing much sadness and despondency. In some cases, it can be dealing with literal, physical Pisces-like issues, such as something with the feet, the toes, the lymphatic system, and maybe having difficulties dealing with this. But at the same time, I mean, remember that that Chiron is the wounded healer. So whatever issues, I mean, in some cases this could even be drug and alcohol issues that Aries is going through, that they're dealing with in solitude and seclusion, and it's causing, it's causing maybe a lot of secret sorrows, and those are maybe the emotional wounds they're going through. But whatever they could be dealing with that's connected with the Chiron Pisces and 12th house energy, they might be having difficulty helping themselves, but at the same time they could help others that are dealing with comparable issues, and in doing so with that Pisces-like empathy, compassion, and self-sacrifice. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Aries February 2018 horoscope forecast. Stay tuned next time where I'll be giving you my Taurus February 2018 horoscope forecast. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.